Chico's the guy who knows literally everything about this.
Oh,
That's support.
let's do it.
Michael, Beth, Kelly, you can hear us?
Yay.
Okay, I believe we are good to go.
Okay, here we go. I'm gonna call this meeting to order at 7:21. This is our regular, Tuesday Hartland School Board meeting, a little delayed because of other meetings in the building and a little delayed due to technical difficulties. So, but we're here now and we're gonna get through this agenda. So first thing would be any changes or additions to the agenda?
Do we have an executive session scheduled?
Not.
Worthwhile to have one to talk a little bit about Heather's email, which would be a confidential student matter.
Okay.
For the purpose of
Yeah.
the executive session.
Yeah, that sounds
Okay.
good. Yeah. Okay. So we will have an executive session to discuss the student matter. So I'll move on to approval of the minutes, and we have 2 minutes to approve. We have January 3rd, which was our regular meeting, and then January 12th, which was our special meeting to approve the budget. And anybody gonna make a motion?
Are you gonna make all the motions?
I'll
every
just
time?
make all the motions
I'm gonna make
last
all the
time.
motions
every time.
I move we approve both of those draft minutes.
All right.
Second.
Okay, Colleen second. So the motion was made by Sarah, seconded by Colleen. Any discussion?
I just wasn't here on the 3rd, so I need to abstain on that one.
Okay, so we'll vote for them separately. Okay, so first we're gonna approve the minutes of January 3rd, 2023. And we're all here, so I don't have to do a roll call. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye.
Abstain.
That is, Beth will abstain. All those opposed? Nothing, so that's 4 ayes, no opposed, and 1 abstention. Go to January 12th. So all those in favor of approving the January 12th, 2023 minutes, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? Abstentions? Okay, those were approved 5-0. Public participation and announcements. Anybody? I would like to thank Emily or whoever else made these
yes.
in the
Good
kitchen,
cookies.
because they
Thank you,
are
Emily. They're
amazing.
really good.
So, thank you to our kitchen.
And I would also like to do just like a massive shout out for these winter activities. I know we shouted out last time, but I'm gonna like re-shout out, like just the smile, like both my children are doing the skiing, and the smiles on all of the kids' faces who have never skied before and have like, after the first day, they're like flying down the mountain better than I do. And it's just really, really beautiful. And I tell everyone about like how the school works so hard to get everyone ski passes and the kids who are swimming, everything just like, and everyone's like, seriously, that's amazing. And I was like, yes, it is. So whoever put that together, thank you, because it's a gift. It's really, really a gift. So I appreciate it from the parents' point of view completely. Thank you.
We appreciate our community for
supporting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They
And,
should.
uh,
It's beautiful. It's beautiful to see.
And we're raising Vermonters. That's the whole point. Because if Vermonters don't know how to go outside, we won't keep them in Vermont.
That's right.
So,
And I'll just say publicly, thank you to Sarah for her time with us in
thank
the school
you.
board.
Thank you,
Yes.
Beth.
And
Oh,
you will
you-
be
it's-
missed.
It's been a pleasure, and you're all wonderful, and the school is so special to me, so it's been really, it's been fun, and I'll still be around, don't worry.
Yeah. We're not letting you go anywhere.
Yeah, I'm not gonna go anywhere.
Okay, is that it for public participation announcements? Okay, so we'll move on to the administrative report.
Will do. Alright. There we go, should be good to go.
So I started with, speaking of winter activities, there's a adorable little skier right there, Will Weston, he's wonderful. And then the photo on the right is some of the games, so there's some in-house things happening as well. It's not just the ones out of the building, there's some really great in-house stuff happening too. Some baking, some game playing, some arts, it's really, really wonderful. And a little bit more, some swimming there on the right-hand side. And then some other great stuff happening within our classroom, so thought we'd have some nice pictures. And then Beth, would you like me to turn it over to you for our compost presentation?
Sure.
Okay. Do you want me to keep?
Yeah, it would be great if you could move the slides for me, maybe?
Happily,
Can you make
yep.
it the spot?
Is that all right?
Yeah.
We don't need, yeah, that's great, thank you.
But what I need to do is stop sharing this one and share this
Oh my,
one.
hello, Beth.
Then you got very.
Sorry. One second, Beth,
We can see
working on
those
it.
windows really clearly now.
And there we go, Beth, when you give me the A-OK,
Okay.
I will go.
I'm good. Okay. So this is just a really brief overview of the compost project that the 6th grade has taken on for the whole school. Started last year with the last year 6th grade built the compost shed as their IDL project. And so it was, our big idea was to create a program that would be sustainable, that would eventually affect the whole school, and then our, you know, our farm to school program, which is why Kelly is here as well, because she's been a huge part of this. And that adorable little boy in that picture is her grandson. Yeah, so next slide, please. So just a brief background. This is this current year's 6th grade. They've been tasked with coming up with a process where we can collect all of the food scraps from certain points within the school. And Kelly worked really hard to help coordinate like how the bins are processed and brought to the Slate foyer. And then we have a team of 6th graders that is a team of 3 that changes every week. And they go out there at about 1:05, which is after the last lunch, with a grown-up, and they do a lot of work. And so this is just part of, this is one of the week's teams. This is a couple of weeks ago, doing a thing. And you can see on the structure, there is a sign for the class of 2024, because that was their big last year. Slide, please. So what they do at 1:05 is one person has a Chromebook, which you can see in that picture, and the other 2 people, they weigh the food scraps. We have a tally by class or by grade, so we can keep data on which grades are creating the most food scraps. They take that data, they put it into a spreadsheet, which you're going to see in a minute. They follow the recipe that Kelly provided to know how much manure they need to add, how much shavings they need to add, and then they take the temperature, they do a squeeze test, they do a lot of data collection and turning it if necessary. So next slide, please. So this is a screenshot of, there's 2 pieces of this screenshot. It was too big to fit on one slide, but this is like the first half of what they do. Some of the tasks are weekly and some are daily, because we found that it was taking them like 40 minutes to do everything, which is unfortunately, it's also during our core instruction time. So we had to figure out how to like finagle them being out of class and doing this important work, and not missing anything. So we kind of streamlined it a little bit, and some of the tasks are now just once a week and some every day. So you can see left to right, they take the temperature in different places in the compost. They do a squeeze test, which some kids really enjoy because it's gross. Next slide, please, Lindsay. And this is the second part of it. So they make notes about observations like, does it need water? Is the temperature gaining the way it should? There's a formula I put into the spreadsheet so that they just have to add the pounds for each grade level. There's a lettered bin, which is what A through G is. And then there's a formula in the spreadsheet that will total it for them. I debated about having them do it, and I thought, you know, it's really kind of important that it's right. So, and it just makes it easier when they're out there in the cold. And then they make observations, and yeah. And next slide, please. So things that we've noticed, this is information from Kelly, so thank you. It's about an average of 55 to 65 pounds of food scraps each day. During winter activities on half days and like today, we don't compost because there just isn't time for the sixth graders to go out and do the jobs. So we'll pick it up again on Thursday. Last temperature reading was about 116, so it's well on its way. And yeah, next slide, please. And then the next bit of this, our big vision is that this is a sixth grade project because it started with sixth grade and it's gone through the process as sixth graders are doing it. So the hope is that next year, as sixth grade is absorbed into the middle school, that it becomes a middle school project organized by the sixth graders. And it's a pretty finely tuned machine. We're getting there, so it's pretty easy now. So it'll be easy to hand it off. And we were hoping that we could train so the incoming sixth graders, the current sixth graders, could teach them about what we're doing. And that was my husband. And show them how the data works and what the science is behind it. And that eventually that they can see that the compost is going into our school gardens, which is how, Kelly can tie it all together with the farm to school program and use some of that produce for the kitchen. So it's been a project a long time in the works, and we're really excited that it's happening. And it took a lot of organization with the kitchen and Kelly and IDL and now it's an everyday thing, which is fabulous. So Kelly is really the expert on the science behind all of this because this is what she does at her farm, and she's educated me along with the kids. So she would be. I don't want to put you on the spot, Kel, but if you have anything to add, that would be great.
The bedding that we're using right now is coming from the high school for the savings, and then we're bringing. I'm bringing in manure right now in the back of my car in buckets. So we're hoping to work on that piece a little bit. But right now it's freezing. It freezes pretty easy. So it's easier for me to bring it in a little bit at a time.
Oh, and I think there's one more slide, maybe.
Oh, yes, there is.
Yeah, only because, so John Samuel, this was last week.
Yeah.
He went in and he turned the whole thing so that we could see it, and you can see the steam coming out. So it's definitely heating up. And we were all out there watching it and, looking at the process.
My grandson loves it. He would like to get out of class to do it because he really would rather not be in class. But
yeah, it's a really cool project, and it hits a lot of different things. And it's going to be great for the school in years to come. Hopefully, the kids are talking about getting goats. They want goats, so because they think that's going to be part of the.
Yeah. Give it a go. Have some kindergarten today.
We
chickens
want
too.
Yeah,
They
we
want
went to Thetford to watch to learn about their program, and they had goats. So our they were very excited about the goats. But
Let's get milk. I love goat cheese.
There we go.
I have a question.
So there's a lot of people in our community, like me, who have a compost bin but don't know how to use it. And I'm wondering if the sixth grade might be willing to make a community video to teach us how to use our compost bins.
yeah, I mean, I think that'd be a great, not to put Kelly in the spot, but here you go.
No, I don't
Kelly's like the master at this.
Yeah.
Well,
It
I
would be
think-
cool.
I think the big thing is that, and we do, Vermont Compost used to have a plot on our land, and so we still have it. And I know this sounds morbid, but it's where we compost animals that have died. And so I think sometimes we don't, because it's we're so big scale and this project is bigger scale, that it's something that I'm very willing to work with the kids on and to get more knowledge about that. So that would be fun.
Ratios and understanding that you need to add stuff that's not just your vegetable scraps.
Exactly.
Yeah. and how to do all that. Public
Yeah,
service.
we used to have like dairy products shipped in that would go into when Vermont Compost was using our land for it, they would have horse manure and cow manure and shavings and, like I said, food waste and all kinds of things brought in, and then they would turn it, with a tractor. So that kind of thing is, and that's something we're still working on with this compost, is trying to get the brown matter and all that stuff balanced out. And we aren't there yet, but we're still working on it.
And another goal is that we'll hopefully keep kids aware of how much food they're wasting. So starting in March, we're going to have a contest in place for the grade that has the least food scraps by weight. So we don't know what the prize is going to be. We have to talk to Lindsay about that. But
The compost dive.
raise awareness of what they're doing.
Is the kitchen composting too?
No, not at this point. Craig has decided not to be a part of it yet. It's just the students. So the only thing that's not going into it is the kitchen food scraps from like their vegetables and that kind of stuff.
And I think the compost has gotten cleaner too. I mean, the food scraps.
Oh, the food scraps are much cleaner.
In the beginning, it was a real learning curve, and the kids have gotten a lot better about knowing what goes in and what can't go in. So,
But you're not separating like dairy and meat, right? You're doing all of it.
No, everything goes in.
no, I meant like trash and plastic.
Yeah. Ketchup packets.
Containers and stuff.
My area.
Yeah.
Wrapped up cheese sticks. That's the bane of my existence.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you guys for your work on that.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Really cool.
Thank you for your time.
Thanks for the kids for putting it together.
That's great.
All right. I will read. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was fun, the geography fair.
Oh,
I had such a great
yes.
breakfast that day.
Yep.
It was amazing.
I don't know anything about this.
Oh my
I
goodness,
realized
these
I
kids.
share a slide
They
or a
cooked.
screen, and then I realized I need to share the different screen.
It was so good.
Yeah,
just
it
heard
was
about the
great.
food. I
So the
didn't
next
realize it was
slide,
there.
once I can, so they each pull it up.
Partners picked countries and they made food from different countries, and some of them were really, really good.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they were great.
Swedish waffles.
It was a very hard project, but it came together very well.
Yeah, I would like to give a shout out to Kelly and the other, because there was so much, I know, like my child had a deep fat frying recipe. And a lot of the recipes were very labor intensive and required a lot of oversight.
Yeah.
I think. And I can't even imagine how you put it all together. So kudos, Kelly.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, it was a very big learning experience for me also, because I didn't realize how complicated some of these were going to be. So in the future, I will take a look at the recipes a little bit closer. I did wake up at 4:00 in the morning to make something that had burnt for somebody. So I felt really bad for him. So I got up and made it. So yeah, I learned a lot too.
Thank you. Thanks, Cal. So our seventh graders did a geography fair. And this was the directions for the work and the standards that went along with what the students did. And here there was a few, there we go. They're working on cooking. This was probably the labor intensive work you're talking about, Kelly.
Oh, it smells so good.
But they did, it was great, doing some more cooking. And then there should be some photos of the fair in action. It was wonderful to see families come. Christine and Angie were there. It was really, really wonderful to allow
Also the little girls with their Greece project.
Yep.
They made Greek donuts. They were very good.
Yeah, so it was great. Fun and learning had by all. It was wonderful. And that's the end.
Now they get to take a trip.
Wouldn't that be nice? Yeah. All right. Yeah.
European trip. I'll
There you go.
go.
Share it,
I'll
you
go.
know.
Let's go.
This,
Board members have to go.
some upcoming events. We have winter activities tomorrow and the last week, unfortunately, I wish we could go longer, but the last week, is next Wednesday. We have been really, really lucky with some fantastic weather through the Wednesdays that we've had winter activities, which has been great.
Don't jinx it.
I know, we've got a makeup day, so
We're like, you're not providing lunch.
Yeah.
Oh, you are providing
We
lunch
have.
for the, okay.
Yep.
So anyone who comes gets lunch provided.
correct.
Got it.
Yes, there is,
Okay.
we put it in the Wildcat Weekly, there was
Okay.
a click button to sign up for it, just so it gives us a heads up on approximately how many numbers.
I think my mom is driving up from Massachusetts to do this.
Love
Oh,
I love
nice.
it, oh
Because
my
I can't
goodness.
go because I have poetry out loud.
Oh, right, okay. And then February break is quickly approaching, which seems a bit wild, but it's coming up quick. And there's our lunch with a loved one. With the times, this will still be in the Wildcat Weekly again up until the event. Which will be this Friday. We'll keep that in the Wildcat Weekly also, the button to click. It's just a brief form to fill out if you're coming. And Christine should probably be in any moment, but she did mention to me that I could go through her superintendent's slides. There's not much in here. Some highlights from January that we had, some Leader in Me, and Alina and I did Hartland specifically a little different because we had Core 2 in August. So Alina and I walked through some Leader in Me work and how we can really roll out WIGs, wildly important goals for staff in a way that felt manageable in some really specific ways. We gave staff time to collaborate and figure out how that's going to look for them and their students, which we feel like, at least on our end, has been beneficial, both for students and for staff. We are doing the STAR assessment pilot, and I know the equity audit, we as our administrative team met, was that the end of last week? The end of last week to work on our part of the interview of the equity audit. I know the staff also met. Oh, hello, I was just finishing this.
I just need to serve Mr. Nicholson.
Yes, yes,
absolutely.
They're amazing.
They're Sarah's celebratory cookies. What are
They're
you
my
doing?
goodbye cookies. I love.
We said we should have, it's Sarah's last meeting, so we said we should have
Sarah.
cookies. I was like, oh, I know where this cookie is.
Sorry to interrupt. This is Mike Nicholson. He was our consultant that helped us with our portrait and our strategic plan, and he's helping us some more.
Helping us out with taking a few cookies.
He's taking.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Take some
Take
you guys.
some with you.
Take a-
Good,
Oh,
okay,
this is
good.
good.
No
Thank you.
more? Because they're really good.
They are
They're
really
good.
They're really good.
I'll go set up a big gallon of milk or something on the way.
There you go.
Perfect.
How far do you have to go
Matt
tonight?
Carreras makes some really good milk.
What's that?
Do you have to go far tonight or?
I'm gonna drive to Boston.
Oh,
Okay,
It's an early morning flight, so give me, just have to wake up and roll over to get in the plane.
there you go. Okay,
I'll be
good
right
luck,
there.
safe travels.
Bye-bye.
So she's coming right back.
Oh.
So the equity audit, they're still working on the interview pieces for different stakeholder groups, and moving forward from there. Christine may have a more detailed update than that, but I know those interviews are taking place. I know she had mentioned that the board will need to make, to vote on the Valente final settlement. She did look into whether or not the board needed to make a motion and vote on that, and the board does have to, from what she had looked into.
We thought we had, but we actually haven't done anything formal yet, so we have to do something formal. Yeah.
Oh, let's.
We just didn't do it.
Well, yeah, we
tried it, If we did, we thought we had done something more formal earlier, but it turns out we didn't do anything formal then either, so.
And then the next, Nikki, I don't know, is the town meeting presentation, do you want me to stop sharing for now? Or would you like me to move on to this?
Yeah, let's go through the items for discussion, because that's the last one.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, well, actually, we have to finish the administration report with a resignation.
Yes, there was a resignation letter from Jess Kiefer, who's our middle level Spanish instructor. She finished on January 20th, so she is not here now. So we just need a motion from the board to officially accept her resignation.
So we can do that later under things.
I have to leave at 8. I don't know if you want we have quorum without my vote.
Yeah, no, let's,
I'm sorry for the.
no, I think that's good. Let's, I want you to see the budget presentation from too. I think it's more important to have you here for a budget discussion than
Then voting,
voting.
that's good,
If you're,
that makes sense. I'll turn it on in the car too.
Okay.
I just won't be able to participate.
yeah, okay. So I think, can we move on to the budget presentation?
Absolutely, I'll pull it up.
Thank you.
You should use- No, okay.
But I don't wanna present that slide, that's not good. Let me go back to the beginning of it.
Yeah, we're fancy.
Yes, we
Yeah.
did it on Prezi.
Yeah, fancy.
Yes.
Press buttons and moves.
There we go. So there's different, do you want me, Nikki, just to go through each one?
Yeah, I guess, we want your guys' input to, I think the ultimate goal of the budget presentation is, to talk a little bit more about the strategic plan and how we're implementing it in the schools, and to show some of the cool activities that we're doing. And then, we have to explain the budget itself, which I have some ideas on. But I'm just trying to make a consistent story for this year. And so any guidance that you guys have, is valued, or any ways that you see things could improve and stuff like that.
And if there's feedback, if you wanna change something, change an image, change something, add something, just let us know, we can do that. Nope, not that one. It's supposed to go in the right order. So the first is just the article. So this first one is a screenshot of the warrant itself, and it just goes into each bubble, goes into what each article is. Do you want me to look through those, or I just took it verbatim from the, okay, that's perfect. Next, it will go to the visuals, the first visual of the portrait, and then this one I know Christine had used for the last couple of years. It really talks about all of the different pieces and aspects that go into student learning for any student, and it's the challenges that are involved in that.
I don't know if it's worth trying to make those bigger, so, because we can't really read what's going on there.
Yeah, we can try, let's see.
Can we do
don't
them
need to
separately?
know.
I can easily add them separately. Do you want me to put one in each, like I'll make two
Yeah.
separate bubbles and then put one image in each one? I can do that easily.
We
Yep.
did use that last year. I feel like it's just as really important.
Mhm. Yep.
Really just summarizes
No,
the
it's great.
the chaos that we're
I
trying
just
to.
do it look familiar.
Yeah,
Yep, so we'll put each of those one in each separate bubble.
yeah.
I can edit that. Next goes into the community, and from there, 3 different subtopics and how we're working on meeting needs of students. And we go into a few separate ways in which that we do that. I'll take a second to read it and then I can go to the next one. And I'll set, trying to move to the next one. Okay. Things that are new this year. Really wanted to highlight that winter activities were at no cost for families. We've tried to be really bringing students within and presenting at board meetings, and we've really brought back weekly all-school meetings, which have been fun. Fun for adults, fun for kids, just a time to be together and have fun. And that picture on the top was balancing Oreos.
You didn't get my kid should be in that one because he bounced Oreos.
Yeah. I think I do have a good one of him from Friday, bouncing a balloon up. I'll have to look and send it to you.
Can we go back one?
Yep. So back to this one?
Yeah. I want to change the winter activities to raising future Vermonters, because that is the key to winter activities
Mm-hmm.
to me. Like, the reason that I'm so excited about winter activities is to keep people in the state.
Okay, perfect.
And then, can we make just a bunch of, I don't know, Prezi, can we make a bunch of bubbles and just pull I'd love to have, some of the, Heart Awards.
Yep.
I'd love to have a few more pictures of the, all school assemblies.
Yep.
Activities, just to really give people images of
Absolutely.
the amazing stuff that we're doing here.
Yep.
You can put your compost on there too.
Yeah,
I feel like your
Yes.
compost is something new and it looks really amazing.
it does.
Yep.
And I
Yeah.
feel like it should be
I didn't
celebrated.
know that you could compost meat until today.
Yeah.
Yeah,
There we go.
it gets hot
Be in
enough.
there.
And I'm not kidding, like, if we had 10 to 15 pictures here that we just went through.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Yep, we can do that.
Like, slideshow of what you thought the best stuff that's happened this year.
I also, given that we're, making some investments in the music program, repairing the instruments, and we're really focusing on
Yeah.
that, I'd love some theater and music pictures too,
Yeah,
because I think there's a lot of pride in our community about those
and like,
those things.
sorry, we're throwing a lot at
No,
you.
that's fine, these are easy, yeah.
The
Elena's making
kindergartners in the
notes.
woods, because we're also talking about that
Yes.
investment as well.
Yes.
Yep.
It would be
Yeah.
great if such a photos.
I know.
Fridays.
Yeah, because a lot of students, like, I mean, even just me growing up, it would interest me in seeing like, the school, how, like, for instance, like how diverse the instruments are. Like, there's so many different, but when I was younger growing up, I mean, we only got one thing and that was like the flute, but you know that they have an opportunity to explore and like get into it, that's super
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, absolutely. It's easy, we can add some pictures, that's simple. Great, absolutely.
And don't forget that you guys brought back your community dinners again.
That's on there.
Okay,
Yeah,
good.
in one of them, I
And
don't
that you
remember
like fed
which.
the community on the more, with like all the power outages, like everything that you can throw at this, throw at it.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are doing a lot.
This
Should
is
be
great.
great.
Funding sources.
Yeah.
For people to know. I like the bubbles.
I do like the bubbles. And I also have to say the chaos of this room really excites me. So
Mm-hmm.
any
Yeah.
picture that shows this chaos. But no, but like, it's just,
happen here.
things are happening here.
Yeah.
This is not like,
All things.
yeah.
Yep.
There's a lot going on here.
Mhm.
So,
Absolutely. Oh, no.
Prezi, I swear you like press a button.
I know.
People go too quick.
And there's
Oh.
three large strategic plan goals, so we broke each of the subtopics up into what we're doing for each of those. Oh, I should present this bigger. Oh, you're so good, thank you. Thank you. This first one, I won't play this video, but it is there. It was played at the SU board. This is Anna Brooks, one of our first grade classroom teachers. She really just does such a wonderful job explaining her Leader in Me journey, but how it's really impacted her students and the work that she does with them. It's an incredible video.
and how, that was like, what, 4 minutes? It wasn't very
This
long.
one I think is like 9,
Oh, is it
so it's a
really?
little longer. So maybe Nikki, you and I can talk whether or not the night of we want to play that. I'm happy to, but if, that 9-minute mark, whether or not we.
Okay, I'll watch the video again. and just
Okay.
figure it out.
And information and communication, this is where Heather, we mentioned the community dinners.
Okay,
and
good.
as well as the Wildcat Weekly. We've tried it in a different format this year, which we've done across the SU. We use S'more newsletter, which I think has, at least on my end, it's super user friendly, and I think it allows for a nice visual for
Everyone
people to
can see it
see. It's really, really nice and simple, because on our end, it can pull from PowerSchool, so I can send everything out via PowerSchool instead of trying to do it in another way, which is nice. And culture and student wellness is where we mention winter activities again, and as well as how we are really working on, with teachers, working on unpacking standards this year, and really focusing on, our goal is the entire SU is foundational reading, and really looking at that and how can we as teachers help our students to improve in that goal.
What is the title of this bubble?
MTSS and winter activities,
Is
do you want me to
that-
write it out?
No,
The-
what was the title of the bubble?
Oh, it's continuous improvement.
No,
Culture and
culture
student
and
wellness.
student wellness.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Maybe you might wanna add in your lovely, as culture, are we talking about school culture or like teaching culture? meaning like, you know, your around the world little fair that you just
Oh,
did, like,
yeah.
that's a cultural event, but is that the culture you're talking
No,
about?
we're talking about
No.
school.
Oh, you're talking about
Yeah,
school.
yeah,
Okay,
yep,
got it.
yeah.
I mean, should we are hopefully mentioned in there or anything like that, or in student wellness? Or- It
yeah.
can, it I guess depends on how many times we want, I'm happy to mention things more than once.
Yeah.
It was mentioned in the, oh goodness, let me go back one.
Yeah, it was in the,
It was in,
what we,
Yeah, it was in the first one.
yeah,
yeah.
I'm happy to mention it again.
Are we in goals or no, we're not?
We were in goals.
Yeah.
Do you want me to head to the next one?
Yeah, for that last one in goals,
Yep.
I would almost, get rid of the text that's in the culture of student wellness, just get rid of the text and maybe just add some bullets, like, I can't read that. I mean, I can,
Yeah.
but I won't.
Do you mean this text that's the 2 paragraphs, make it
Yeah.
more bullet-like?
Yeah,
Yep, we can do that.
yeah, and we can just read that, and then show more pictures.
Yep.
All about pictures.
This might be in your budget presentation, but, I do feel like like, there should be something just explaining that we're still dealing with, you know, COVID after effects
Yeah.
and we're trying to, you know, fill in gaps and, it seems like that's an important way to kind of lay the groundwork for.
Yeah, and my plan was to talk about that in the chaos slide.
Okay.
We have a slide called the chaos slide?
Yeah, the one that you
Yeah,
saw
image,
earlier,
yeah.
all the arrows and
Oh,
directions.
But I also think, Nikki, it could be something that I highlight under in this one.
Yeah.
Because that work that we're doing as a SU and our building around focusing on a foundational reading skill is trying to help improve, you know, those gaps that students currently have.
That seems like it would.
And I think anybody that's at this presentation that's watching the news knows that we've got a national teacher shortage. And part of it is kids' behavior in reaction to the pandemic. And that's a national picture, and I think we're trying, and I think we're doing really well to combat that. But it's something that everybody's struggling with.
It's not going to unless we do something.
Exactly, and we're trying to do something.
okay. Bye, Colleen Spence. We'll
I'm gonna
see you
turn you
soon.
on.
Okay.
We'll see you on the 28th.
Colleen, just reach out to me if you think of something. Colleen, it's great to see you in person.
I know.
Take
It's
a
good to be in your
look.
face.
They're sitting right in front of me.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Bye, Colleen.
I'll turn you on in the car.
Shoot me a note or a text if you think of something that I need to add. Awesome. Okay.
And supervisory union is next. This one is just this part of it. This is, all that's in there is.
Okay, wait, I forgot where we were. We were at goals. Okay, then we were at
Yes.
supervisory union.
Yep, and then this just talks about the assessments that go to the SU.
Into the SU, yep.
Yep.
So what, okay.
And then the last, this is where
Yay.
it goes.
So everyone wants to talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you got a lot of bubbles here.
Yep.
Okay.
This just talks about student enrollment. We're gonna keep going, pause.
So we're up a little from last year.
Yeah, that's great.
And I did put 227 because starting on 227, we will have 3 new students that are coming. I added them because they're starting on the 27th.
We're gonna present after.
Yep, and we'll
Last
present
week,
after.
too,
Yep.
so-
Where are they, like, where are people living? It's always shocking to me, like, people move, I don't know, just moving sounds so weird to me.
These,
I know.
They're
yeah.
not from
You came
around
here.
here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a funny, one of the families came from South Africa.
Mhm.
Which is
Yes.
Amazing, yeah.
Yeah.
Love that.
Yeah.
Yep. So that one's
From around
updated
here.
ahead of time, but if that
You're getting culture
changes,
shock.
yeah,
Big
I'll
time.
change it.
What's
but-
all that weight stuff?
That's great though.
Yeah.
That's great.
And high school, I tried to make this bigger, the problem is I can't, I can try again, I tried to make that as big as I could and it was not letting me
Can
zoom
you go
in
this
anymore.
way? I know that that's
Oh,
like,
yeah.
like, this is, you might wanna go this way.
Mhm.
I don't know how to do that, but
I could just, that was a screenshot on,
I
Google
can
Sheets,
help
so I
you
could
in,
just-
Yeah.
I can help you in sheets. we'll schedule.
Got the sheet expert over here.
Not the sheet, I can do it myself, but, so another nitpick, we're highlighting the asphalt crack.
Yeah.
I don't know how to fix that. It was zooming in.
Oh. Took me a second to figure out. I don't know if there's a way to fix that one. I can try, I'm not sure.
With something else.
Yeah, we
I
could
mean,
try to get
almost-
another picture,
But
just
you don't
like a,
like
like,
the crack right
Sign
there,
on
that's
for
like,
the school or
taxpayers are
something.
gonna be like,
It's a good
what's with the
point.
crack? We're gonna be like, well.
School falling in.
You know,
Then we
like
can
the
get it.
groundwork, there's renovation.
this is the real life of what it looks like.
That would be strategic, that's right.
Sorry,
And I
you need the
think you got
visuals of those of us
and you
that are
got the two
distracted.
different, and you got the two different like colored sidewalks going on in the front of the picture. This is great.
Yeah.
We should have left the Hartland Elementary School sign the way it was
With
with
the
the letters
missing
missing. And just put that up there.
Can we, so one of the stories that I wanna tell on high school costs is, the percentage of our total budget that high school costs are, and, how the percentage of kids that those costs serve. Because I think what it continuously shows is 30% of our kids are going to high school and it's 30% of our budget. Roughly.
Yeah.
And I think that that's an important story to tell, because there's a lot of community members that blow up about, school choice being more expensive. And I don't think it's more expensive and I don't think it's less expensive, it's just what it is. So I feel like we should tell that story.
Yeah, and focusing on the number without the context of,
Right.
of the percentage of
Yeah.
our total
Yeah,
population
right.
is very misleading.
Yeah. So we can just, we can work in sheets. Do I have these? Do I have this spreadsheet?
No, I can share it with you though.
Okay.
I have it. And goals, and changes, there's similar goals to Christine's presentation last year. And changes, there is a decrease of 1 certified staff position. There's a 0.53 increase in salary and 1.28 increase in benefits.
What's the random dot there hanging out there? Is that like where I?
To be erased.
Okay.
Yes. The dot to
Or is
be
that like
erased.
dot, dot,
Nope.
dot? There's some more changes.
And that 0.53%, that's increase in like the bottom line, what salary is costing all of us, not
Yes.
like everyone's getting only a 0.5% raise.
Correct.
Kind of thing.
Yep.
It's pretty darn good.
Yes. And the proposed budget from last year to this year, and then the percentage difference.
I can only see people having like, I don't know, like with the bigger the number, you're like, whoa, what's going on with supplies?
Right.
So are we prepared to say like why it's a 32% increase of why supplies?
Yeah,
Okay.
a lot of it is things are costing more than,
Yeah.
than what it has.
Everything
And
costs
I
more.
think too, like with, like in the classroom, from what I see when, like with my niece and my nephew, at like the school that they're at now, I see that there's a lot of like social, so it's like, there's a lot of activities like for supplies for kids, just to get them talking, interacting. That's what I think about together. Maybe that's not the supplies you're talking about, but just an idea.
Yeah, it drives this program in this room.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Adds to that, which is really important.
Yeah, that's true. And in the grand scheme of things, that's a big increase, but it's a really small number.
It is.
Yeah.
Where's fuel oil on that? Cause that's, or where's our energy costs? Cause that's a big increase. Oh wait,
I think that was in there.
That's not on your, is that maintenance? No, that would be maintenance.
No, it's a separate line, but I can add in there. No, but I can add that in. No, cause it wouldn't have been, I will add, I can edit this and then add in, do you want me to add in?
No, I was
energy?
just, that's one of our bigger increases, and I thought I had the spreadsheet on. I don't. Oh, here's, yeah.
It's crazy.
Well, we only get football once a year.
Oh, I'm looking at last year's budget, I wonder.
And
These numbers don't make any sense.
for 200
There you go, there you go.
gallons, it's like $2.54 a gallon.
No, it's crazy.
I'm like, well, we're gonna use the propane.
Okay,
So I'm happy to add it if you'd like me to, or I can.
no,
Keep it as
it's
is.
under one of those, because that's the whole budget, so it's in there
Yeah.
already. I just don't know,
Yeah, I'm not sure what.
it's not under maintenance. We just contracted with assessments. Is it no, it's not a contract. Maybe? I don't know, maybe it's not in there.
I can do a little digging, and if
yeah.
I can find that it's under a separate one, do you want me to include that in here?
I mean, it could just be
Yeah.
something that one of you says, that, as you all know, the cost of fuel's gone up, and that's one of the drivers of our increase.
I thought I had it up, but I have the 22 budget. I had, that's because I have the wrong computer. Okay, so here's what I did. I ran the numbers of, the things that and I talked to Lindsay about this, I ran the numbers of the things that we have control over and the things that we don't have control over. And so if you look at it itemized by the local, elementary schools, so the local meaning we have control over it, elementary is how the state requires us to break it down. And that's either a decrease or like a super small increase. It's a really small dollar amount. And then, if you look at the secondary, which includes the high school, part of, we don't have control over the tuition increase. And I think for the secondary, the local part is super small increase or it's a decrease. And then there's an increase in tuition, which we would expect, but it's only a 2% increase, so that's pretty small, all things considered this year. And then the biggest increases in the assessments, which is primarily special education. And I did want to talk about,
In this support staff, contract,
and the sports staff
made a
contract.
significant raise.
Yeah, and I did want to talk about a bit why that increase is important. And part of it is because of the support staff salary increase, and then another part is because Katie's bringing kids back in-house, which I think is really important for those kids.
And in the long run, doesn't that cost us less anyway?
It should in the long run, but in the short term,
You don't get reimbursed.
we don't get right. So these kids are costing the state less, the town is getting reimbursed less. So
That's an important thing to
Yeah.
explain,
and so
but we think it's the right thing to do.
it's the right thing to do, even though it hurts our budget. In the grand scheme of things, it is more affordable, but we see less income because we're doing the right thing. And then the last huge change is energy. And other than that, our budget is really not changing or going down. And I wish I had those numbers in front of me, but I brought the wrong computer, so.
And 4.28% in a year when inflation is, right? I mean, that's not
No.
so much.
No, but I will say, and you guys need to talk it up in the community, there are community members that saw the, equalized pupil number and are livid and wondering why our spending is out of control because the legislature didn't pass that, we didn't have to put that number in the warning, until after we already did, and so. There's a reason that the legislature didn't need to put it in the warning anymore, because you can't change how a school system runs based on a fluctuation of 15 students every year.
Well, but we did, I mean, we're adjusting, right?
Right.
We got rid of one position.
Right.
And we are adjusting.
We're adjusting,
Yeah.
but it, like, the change from one year to the next, our budget's going up 4%, our equalized pupil budget is going up 10%.
Right.
And that, we can't change that all the time. I don't know.
But I think the important thing to get across is that we're very mindful of it.
I wish I had those numbers in front of me,
We
because
are adjusting.
I do
we're
think
doing
our
what we-
local budget would have gone down if it weren't for the energy costs. So, but I don't have it in front of me, and I'm gonna put it in the presentation.
Yeah.
The way I just broke it out to you.
Mhm.
I just haven't given it to Lindsay, because I haven't had time. Uh-huh.
And next it does go into the different parts of the SU, and it's exactly what you had just said, Nikki, that the largest portion of it is special education with an increase of 210,621.
Yeah. And we're still doing the right thing, just don't get credit for it. Has anybody approached the same on that one? On, the special education? If we decrease, well, if we're decreasing our special education costs, why, overall, like, why is the state, does the state not, why is the state punishing us for spending less money on?
Because they're not extraordinary costs.
Right,
Right?
right.
It's that the way you get reimbursed for extraordinary costs
Right.
is different than
I'm just wondering
non-extraordinary
if
costs.
there's ever gonna be a fix to
Yeah,
that.
it's a number, like if
Right.
it costs you over a certain amount.
Which I get.
$50,000, you get reimbursed at a particular rate.
Yeah,
Right.
But if you're keeping them in-house, your costs are not gonna be above $60,000, so you're
right.
reimbursed.
Yeah, that would definitely be something to share with our representatives.
Yeah, that's what I'm
We
thinking.
feel like we sort of are in a little bit of a getting punished for doing the right thing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if we need more fiscally responsible and,
But the kids that get special needs, like my son, anyway, right? So, but you have all these teachers that are helping, and everybody's helping. Everybody knows this student, etc. And then you're preventing less work down the line because a plan is in place, and they're able to adapt and cope. So in a way, it's like you should be rewarded and not, what's that term that you use, like where if you tattle on somebody else or something and then you're reprimanded. I don't know what the term is.
Yeah.
I can't think of it right now. Like retaliation.
yeah. That's okay. Moving on.
It's not in your control.
No, there's a lot of things that are in my control.
This is the last
Okay,
bubble.
so that's the bottom line.
Look how good that is, that's good. And, well, I mean,
More than I want, but
it's
I don't have
so,
control over it.
it's so much better than other places, it's so much better than other places,
Yeah.
Yes, we should be very proud of this because does not look like this across the state. Like, we did a good job.
Did hard work. So, you guys heard the grand scheme of what I wanna talk about. Is there anything else that I'm missing? I still have to figure out how to help get it into Percy. We'll just sit down and.
Oh, yeah, we can go through it.
It looks like the, electricity, oil, gasoline is up, $54,000.
Yeah, and I think that's the biggest local increase that we have.
Christine, is that one?
That's a great, I think that's an important thing to explain.
Oh, yeah, that tab,
Yeah.
okay. But in terms of
I do
this.
think that like,
Okay.
kind of laying the groundwork by giving a quick explanation of how, how per pupil expenditure affects the tax rates is always really important, because so many people don't understand that
Right.
at all.
Yeah.
And so just, as quickly and efficiently as possible, as you know, the state of Vermont,
Reimburses us per people.
and, if we lose a couple of pupils, something beyond our control, we're punished, because even though we can't then adjust our budget on the fly,
Right.
our budget is divided by a smaller number of pupils. And so that's what we're facing.
It's equalized over, is it 2-year average? Or it used to be a 3, but I thought I read
Did
something
they
else
change it to
too. They did, but I could be wrong.
Oh, well, that makes it even worse.
Yeah.
But now we're going back.
But now we're going back up, but we don't get credit for it
We
yet.
don't get credit for it, no.
3 years,
Right, we're at the
So
bottom,
that's
right?
We're the,
Yeah,
exactly.
we're at
The
the,
lowest.
all the kids
Yes.
that we lost to homeschooling and other schools from the pandemic.
Yep.
We're at the bottom of that right now. And hopefully, we're like crawling back out of it. And that really, I mean, because we lost 20, did we lose like 20 kids because of the pandemic?
from homeschooling.
Yeah.
I think we were double, yeah, I don't think it was 20, it was around 20, I think. And then we got 10 back in the second year, we had
Okay.
half back.
Okay.
When we came back,
Yeah,
but,
Right, but that's, yeah.
but that
you can
number
see
where
it's
we
right
lost
there.
them is
Yeah.
still in there.
It's still in.
yes. Yes, we lost a
We
whole
still-
family. It was
I know.
a large family.
That was-
We still haven't gained it though.
We lost a really
Yeah.
large
Come on
family.
back.
50 kids. Was it 8? Yeah. 6.
Seven.
Seven. Oh,
Seven.
seven. Okay, somewhere in
Still,
there.
that's,
That was a large family.
Big hit.
It's a big
It's a big hit.
They're like a good solid percentage of our school.
And
Yes.
we're working on putting the word out now for the incoming K students.
Great.
Trying to make sure that we get a sense, but it's still early on.
Hello.
Uh-oh,
Somebody
Pat, it
needs to
says shutting down. Shut down.
Somebody just needs to touch
Touch
the
that
screen.
screen.
good job, Nikki. Yeah. I'm getting on with a lot.
So Alina and I took notes on the things to edit.
Awesome.
Other than what we had discussed throughout, is there anything else anyone would like me to add?
If you're doing edits to Prezi, can you just give me a bubble in the budget? Fiscal year 24, give me a bubble.
Add another bubble?
Yeah, let me, if you can open that.
Yep,
Um,
what I can do is just, I'll do it now so I don't forget.
Where do I wanna put it?
And I can move around all these other ones.
Okay,
You're going to, is it 2 cookie nights?
that's a 2 cookie night.
It's budget night.
I'm sure.
Right.
Oh, by the way, at the budget meeting, do we give cookies at the door?
You should.
We should probably like, I feel like sometimes you need like popcorn or something to get people.
Hey, we haven't been in person for.
I know.
Maybe we should have
So-
Alyssa do
And
the concession
We should say that.
Yeah.
Historically, historically, they have not been well attended,
Well,
We would,
unfortunately.
okay, so I'm gonna
It's
say
too bad
we
'cause
do,
It's not good information.
it is.
You want something before tax rates?
I'm gonna go with the overview and then enrollment and then goals and changes. And then Nikki's bubble.
Nikki's bubble.
I don't know how hard, maybe we should just do this later.
We can do this later.
Okay, we'll do it later.
Yep.
Sorry, I had a thought of the flow.
We can just move this up here, that'll remind us.
Yeah,
I can fix it.
that sounds good. Okay, let's move on to the agenda. So back to the top of items for discussion, we have a student board representative. Item for discussion. So all of the boards are trying to get good representation within the SU. And we have not talked about it a lot in this group. I think it's a good idea, I just don't know how to do it for a K-8 school. We have high schoolers. And that's my thought.
I
Fill in the blank.
I think 7th and 8th graders are
Yeah.
completely capable of, sitting and listening and being part of the discussion.
Yeah, and those kids, and they have such a great like overview of the school once they
Yeah.
get to 7th or 8th grade. I think that's, I think middle schoolers should.
Okay.
Be the ones.
I think they can do it. And it would, yeah.
And do we currently have like a school board, or student council kind of thing?
We have a student.
Student Lighthouse, but the student council prior to that was led by Jess Keeper, who has just resigned, so it's.
So it's even more
Yeah.
important to have a
Yeah.
student now.
Which is what I think is if it could be part of, like, if students are running for positions within a student council, they could run.
open it up to all voices instead of just that small niche group of student council, because their voices are already heard or they're involved. So not to exclude them, but not.
No, I was just thinking more it was just another seat on the student council, like you would be,
Gotcha.
it would
Oh, I see
be,
what you mean.
when you're running an election, it would just be
That makes sense.
president, vice president, school board rep, like it would just be an
So
added
would
person.
you have to be on council to be the school board, on the school board?
I think so, like, cause it wouldn't be, then they would be also feeding into more of a
Yeah.
larger group with more influence.
I think it might make sense.
Michael Butts has his hand.
Oh, okay.
What's that?
Yeah, I was just going to say, Abby is actually working on putting something together like that, where she wants to do it starting with the middle school, but then also try to incorporate the whole school on the foundation of having a president, a vice president, doing the elections, and going through that whole process. So that is something that she is working on doing in the next few months.
I'll just say one thing, because we took that out, we took it out of the high school. There's an application process. And when it becomes an elected person, it often limits who gets to be the voice at the table, if that makes sense. So is there a way for anybody to apply, and then be on student council after the fact, but just to be able to open it up?
Is it a rotating
Who
seat?
makes the decision though, then?
Typically for student council, the kids vote.
No, but I mean, if you're saying we don't want it to be voted on, we want.
So kids have to apply, and you make it whatever you want it to be. There is a process. They have to apply. They have to interview with the school principal, the superintendent, and then the school board. So it's kind of scary.
Is it
Yeah. But, and then those adults would pick the person.
Yeah, and I have to say, they're not knocking down the door to get on the board so far.
Right.
So it wasn't a hard.
It wasn't a hard, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's tough, I mean, it's tough, cause either way, you're kind of self-selecting, right?
Right.
It's like either, you know.
But what would be the feedback,
Yeah, and-
and like, how would the student then communicate and be the voice of the student body?
Right, that's,
Like, that's,
because that's very important, that they're in touch with lots of different elements and they're really able to represent student opinion.
Can you have more than one? Maybe like.
That was the thought that I had.
Yeah,
Three
they
or
had two. They had two.
five, or I don't know, something.
I was thinking, I mean, as far as from the selfish side of what I want as a board member, I want student voices here. I think to look at it from the student side, they're learning about a board. But if I just look at it from the selfish side, then if we had like, 3 or even 5 and they just rotated, because we all know what it's like to commit a lot to being on a board, and we're not.
well, and
And
it's also
coming to
limiting
evening
the sense-
meetings for
Right.
kids is really tough.
Yeah, I mean, it's also having the student will have to have a supportive family that's willing to like drive them back and forth and make sure they got all the communication they need for the meeting, blah, blah, blah.
Then the lingo being
Right.
used here is gonna have to be like, maybe the layman's terms.
What if they came what if it was like organized around like a quarterly meeting where there was a lot of content for students, or there was like it was really focused on getting that student opinion, but they only came 4 times a year or something like that.
And they're presenting.
And they're presenting.
Yeah.
And the board plans ahead of time so that you're addressing issues where you really need that student voice and you kind of structure it around that.
That would be cool.
Yeah.
I'm just even thought about the idea of, I really, I love the idea of having students here and being part, but there's no but. The thing is the rotating of the students is actually a good thing, not having the same student here, because then you get the different groups. And
That's what I was thinking.
and even, even offering it, I mean, we could, I wouldn't be too sad about seeing like a third grader sitting right there and hearing about what's going on in third grade. Like, there are plenty of third graders that could tell you how it is. And I feel like, middle schoolers are great, but it's a K through 8th.
Does it
So,
have to be an application process, or can it be something that maybe the teachers that know the students could potentially pick out somebody that they feel and like, hey, we're gonna go to the end and we present it to the parents and encourage, like, hey, we just want their opinions, and maybe just have like 2 of them there so they have like a little support system, because I can say that I'd be like very scared. To come here and listen to stuff. I was already scared as it was, just because,
You could have 8, you could have like 8 per year, so at each meeting you would have someone from the lower grades and someone from the middle school. And they would rotate.
And my
Pretty
personal
good.
opinion is that the student commitment should only be the first hour.
Yes.
Because we already are way too late too often.
right.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And then there's going to have to be cookies every time.
Yeah.
Cookies every time.
I think that this needs to, I think we need to keep
Talk about it.
percolating. I've been meaning to like have this discussion for a while and we're there.
So bring it back.
Yeah,
Bring it back.
bring it back, yeah.
I will say the high school student that's on the Scotty School Board often remotes in just because they're late nights.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've got a lot on their plates.
Is that a high school student, Christine?
It is, yeah. It's great. There was also a question that came up, so just to think about, what training do we give these students who are gonna be on the board?
Right.
And what is their charge, right? Are they?
Right.
Yeah, they need a job description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you know, I know Weathersfield was talking about this as well, and they're also a K-8 building. Did they circle around and land on anything, or are they still having conversations?
They decided they thought it was important, as you did, and I think Brian's working on a process, so maybe it would be great.
Brian might be working on it.
Yeah.
Bring something back.
Yep.
Okay.
So we'll move on to the next budget item. Sorry, for those of you who know my family, I got distracted by a picture of a pile of folded clothes.
I feel like there should be some excitement.
Like,
Someone wanted
I don't-
praise.
Or is it moving on?
Somebody
blew my mind.
Someone
So
said
much. I don't understand.
It was John. John said, "Look what I did."
Running away from that.
And so that's where I got a little distracted. Yeah, I was working, folding clothes.
Aw,
She wants to organize like our neighbor. It's very distracting.
Or
Okay.
is it organized?
I did, well, this is a momentary thing. Okay, survey questions for the pulse check is the next item for.
Yep, on it. Haven't
Okay.
sent them to you yet, but still
Okay,
working on it.
You wanna put it on for next month on the agenda? or-
Yes.
Okay.
And someone needs to remind Heather. Heather needs to remind Heather on it.
I mean, the next agenda is like a long time from now, so.
Doesn't feel that long.
Well, there's March, but March is, we need to look at what March's agenda looks like, because that's reorganization.
So do we wanna push the pulse check questions to April?
Sure.
Which gives you.
Is that, gives you a little more
Good amount
time?
of
Give them plenty of time.
Okay. So we will table that till the next meeting. Well, this is perfect now. Christine's back, so we can talk about the Valente settlement.
Okay.
Lindsay, do you wanna pull that back up on the screen?
Happily.
Can I dismiss?
Yes.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for that. We appreciate you being here.
No, I
appreciate it. Thank you so much. I'm super excited.
Awesome.
And my little bit of input. You guys have a good night.
Thank you.
Drive carefully.
Drive carefully, yeah.
Okay. So, Bill Ellis, who is the lawyer in this case for us, reached out and, he thought that we had ratified the
So did
agreement.
we.
And we looked back through all our minutes and we actually technically, I think we talked about it in an executive session with Weathersfield, as you
yeah.
recall, early in the year. And I think that's where we got that sense, but, The final settlement, he updated really kind of, it went back and forth. Nikki, I've been sharing it with Nikki back and forth, and this is where it landed. And so I put the items up there just for your, so you can see what they are. Essentially, we have to send a letter from Dan French, to all tuition eligible families within 14 days of execution of the settlement, just letting them know that they have access to, public dollars for religious independent schools. So we've been paying those, since last spring. We have to remove guidance online and otherwise that states that students cannot receive full tuition benefit if they attend religious schools. We have to honor continue to pay the tuition, students attending religious schools. And we have to pay, the balance. We have to pay families full tuition benefit for 22-23 school year within 14 days of receipt on invoice. And we do have to reimburse families who were denied and they had to have requested by a certain date in writing. And be denied, yes. And we had one family that fell into that category. So we've taken care of that.
The family in question.
Yeah. And we have to pay, we don't have to pay, but VIII has to pay, attorney's fees to the tune of $110,000. And so those were the sort of add-ons that went back and forth from the initial settlement. And so if you agree, which hopefully you will, because I think we have to, there is, he gave us language for the proposed motion that someone will need to make tonight.
Hey, Sarah, it's your night.
I'm not gonna make
I
that
mean,
Sarah
I don't
motion.
know,
I
I'll make the motion, but I will also make a comment along with it. And I would like to suggest that we as a board, make it clear that we're approving this so that we don't get sued again and waste taxpayers' money, but that we categorically disagree with both the Supreme Court decision that led to the necessity of settling with the families, and that I really feel as a taxpayer of the town of Hartland that I am going against the U.S. Constitution, and I really disagree with this action that we're being forced to take. So, I guess I would say that, but I also am.
You did.
I also am conscious that that we lost and that dragging this out is not good for kids, our hardworking administrators, and the people of our town. So I will regretfully.
Well, before you move the motion, what also disturbs me about this is that we have no, because of the way that this has been pushed through, we have no knowledge that the education that these kids are getting is an appropriate education.
Yeah.
And equitable. Yeah, equitable and an actual education.
Well, yeah, to the standards of.
Yeah, and there are no standards involved. And
We also cannot guarantee that the children in our community are not being discriminated against at these schools on the basis of gender expression, identity, and that's incredibly troubling to me. So I think that's another.
here.
Yeah, it's very much under duress. That we would approve, that I would move to approve the settlement of the Valente v. French matter as set forth in substantially the form presented to the board this evening, and authorize legal counsel to execute the settlement documents on behalf of the named school defendants. And I would ask Lori, when preparing the minutes, to include all of those comments that we just made with the motion, so that in the public record that we
that we do not agree with this motion.
Well, we do agree.
We do, we made the motion,
Motion.
we do not agree with the
Outcome.
with the outcome of this case, yeah.
Is Leanne on?
Make sure. Okay. Sorry, it's not Lori.
I can regretfully second that.
Regretfully second, okay, good.
We will all regretfully say aye.
Okay. So is there any further discussion? I think we discussed it.
There's nothing to discuss.
Yeah, we do, hands down.
Yep, okay. All those in favor of approving this motion to settle the Valente versus French matter, please signify by saying aye. All those opposed? And Colleen's not here. So we have approved the settlement.
I'll let Bill know, thank you.
And we'll move forward.
Okay, we're good.
Moving, go something else.
Something positive, go.
Resignation. Okay. The next one is not good either. It's the resignation approval.
Oh,
Man, we need to end on more cookies.
I move to accept the resignation of Jessica Keeper. All of you.
Yeah, so Beth moves to accept the resignation of Jessica Keeper. Their second?
Second.
Second. And I think a lot of us are bummed, but get that she's doing the right thing for her, and we will figure out how to move forward. I guess we have figured out how to move forward. So, okay, all those in favor of accepting Jessica Keeper's resignation, please say aye. Aye. All those opposed? No one, and no abstentions. So Jessica's resignation is approved. So setting the next agenda,
Just reorganization.
yeah, so the next meeting, is, our annual meeting is not really a meeting, it's an annual meeting.
The budget
The
presentation?
budget
Yeah.
presentation
Yeah,
is an additional meeting.
yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Your next meeting is March 7th, your meeting.
and then everybody
Oh, March
needs to make sure that we take minutes at the annual meeting.
Oh, correct.
Did we
forget?
Okay.
I think we asked Leanna if she could be there, didn't we?
For this year?
Yeah, do you want somebody there?
I don't think we need somebody there, it'll be recorded.
Yes.
And the minutes should just be the budget presentation, the budget was presented.
And
Because,
the recording.
yeah, and a link to the recording, it doesn't need to be any more than that, because there's no actions
Yes,
taken
right.
at the meeting,
Okay.
so.
And we wouldn't have Sarah's replacement because it's the 7th voting day.
Yeah, we won't.
Right.
So
right,
we
so
won't
she-
have,
Well, although, I think in the past, when that's happened, what we did was,
It's definitely the same day.
I think it is.
I think she can, well, no, but she won't know until that night, that's right. I mean,
Yeah.
she's unopposed, but.
Yeah, you have to fill it.
She has to do paperwork, yeah, so she won't be there until April. So,
We're gonna have a special meeting.
Like the fall.
yeah,
Can we just move it up?
yeah, I was gonna say, I'd be happy to come to that meeting, but that doesn't make any sense, because then you'll just have to meet again to do rework.
Can we push this?
You should push it, we should probably push it to the next week. That would be great.
Let's look.
So you're thinking March 14th?
Is somebody else needing it?
It's kind of,
Yeah, there's gonna be
Yeah.
Weathersfield that night.
Yeah, cause it gets ugly.
I mean, if it's just a reorg meeting,
Right, we
like,
could,
it's, I mean, it's okay for Christine not to be, like, if she wants to be, others feel like.
Christine runs the reorg meeting, that's the.
Oh, that's right. Well, can we pass it to Lindsay to run?
technically, no.
Thinking, hold on. Okay, so we
I
vote,
just start it until we vote for a.
Yeah.
That's true, and then when the chair is elected, the chair can start.
right,
Yeah.
what time does Weathersfield start? They start at 6, right? 7 or 6:30?
They start at 6:30.
So we start at 6.
And you could be remote from there.
Oh, wait, but that's
Too
the
crazy.
7th. Oh, wait, no, what about 14?
We're looking at
Okay.
14.
Yeah, thank you.
I will do whatever you need me to do.
Well, But we could run through the reorg of the chair and then
I could just sign off
Right.
and be at Weathersfield.
Yeah. You could do that from Weathersfield, there in person.
I can do that.
Okay, so let's,
Tell me what exactly, because I was taking notes for Lori.
no, it's okay.
Move it to.
We're gonna move it
6 on the 14th.
Yeah.
Moving the 7th to the 14th, okay. Yep.
And we have to-
And I will remote in at 6 o'clock. Okay.
Friday, yeah.
I will add that to my list, Lori, it's perfect.
And do you want that, Nikki, in person, or if it's just reorg, do you want?
I would do it in person, because we'll be doing, so then the other things that were on the agenda, it'd be good to discuss the student board representative.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can get some ideas by then, like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna start thinking about,
I
like,
think we all just need to process.
yeah, what that could look like.
And Brian and I can email Brian, and he and I can meet, and we could come up with something that I would imagine would be similar in each buildings, because they're both KD.
Yeah.
So I can meet.
Lindsay, do you have any idea, like, it might be interesting to like talk to some, like, just students in general, like, is this something, like, what would they?
My guess is they don't know we exist.
Yeah, I know, like, they, I don't even think they know what the school board is.
What does it mean?
Yeah, what do you do?
There's kids in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade that know we exist.
Very close. I told them, you should come and present for your compost project.
Yeah, I mean, there are a couple of 7th graders who, who
I've come a couple times.
have come a couple times, but who, who I know, like, love this kind of stuff. And, like, Tilly or
Yeah.
Wes would love, would love to do something like this, I think. And in 8th grade too, I think there's,
Yeah. Okay, so we have the student board, so we have reorganization, student board representative. We're gonna not do the pulse check.
No, probably.
That seems good enough to me.
Okay, can you repeat those one more time?
Oh, it was just reorg and the student board representative discussion.
Okay. Do you want an administrative report that night?
Yes,
Probably.
I like that.
So reorg,
I like that.
administrative report, items for discussion, students on school board.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. And then we'll move the survey questions for April.
Will probably be in the administrative report, can we do a budget check?
Yes.
Cause I think we're due.
You need a financial report?
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be March, yeah, I think that's the right time.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
And I can highlight, if you want, I can highlight the winter activities, because at that point they'll all be wrapped up, so we can.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Winter activity
It'll be
highlights.
interesting to hear like how many participated in what.
Yeah. It'd be really cool. Sorry, more work. It'd be cool if we could survey the kids. What winter activities get them
Yeah.
besides getting out of school? Like, if we could ask the kids to just write.
My favorite thing about winter activity was,
We can even do one of those word bubble things. Yeah. Of my favorite, just to get a sense of what the kids get from it.
Yeah, we can do that.
where you can, what's your title? Future Vermonters.
Yeah.
How does it make you feel to be a future Vermonter?
I want to keep people in the faith.
Or more people go, but they have to come back.
Yeah, you gotta go to come back.
probably have 7 children.
Come back, 7 children.
Can you come talk to my husband?
Okay, moving on. I think we got the next agenda, and we discussed going into an executive session. And so,
Oh, and for the board, I think Christine will need an executive session in March. Maybe we just add it.
It's always there, if we need it.
Yeah.
Perfect,
yeah.
okay.
do we have a specific topic?
Staffing. Let me just make sure it's on there.
If needed, yeah.
If needed. I'm unsure in this moment if it's needed, but
Okay.
I'll put it on there.
And I think I want to clarify that the executive session that we need for today is not a student matter, but it's an under 18 matter, so that's why it's an executive session. Okay, so thank you, Michael.
Good to see you, Michael.
And thank you to others. Should we just go into?
Chico at CATV.
Thanks,
Chico.
I'm gonna
Thanks,
stop
Chico.
recording.
Look at this.
And thank you for
Yeah, thanks
Chico?
for
working through the.
Okay, so we go